Sue Lyon had a cursed love life, but Lolita was undoubtedly her most twisted chapter. Her close friend, musician Michelle Phillips, held the key to her sordid past, and after Lyon died, Phillips dropped a bombshell nobody saw coming. At the tender age of 14, Sue Lyon became a provocative symbol of lust and temptation as Vladimir Nabokov's perfect nymphette, Lolita, in Stanley Kubrick's 1964 film of the same name. The career-defining role catapulted the young actress to fame. Tragically, it also ruined her life. She was born far from the fame and controversy that would define most of her life. When she was just 10 months old, her family endured a devastating blow when the patriarch of the family died. Without a father in the household, Lyon's family struggled to put food on the table. So, at the age of 11, Lyon began working as a model to help support her family. Her rapidly maturing body gave her an edge over other child models, and her mother uprooted the family and moved to Los Angeles to pursue better opportunities. But stardom didn't come easily. Despite her obvious appeal, Lyon struggled to pick up roles in Hollywood. In her first 2 or 3 years, the young preteen only managed to land 2 roles, one on the Loretta Young Show and the second on Dennis the Menace. Then, as fate would have it, she landed the role of a lifetime. Sheer luck gave Lyon a role that countless other Hollywood hopefuls would have done anything for. The legendary Hollywood director Stanley Kubrick cast Lyon in the role of Dolores Haze for his 1964 adaptation of Vladimir Nabokov's highly controversial novel, Lolita. Lolita is about a relationship between a man and a 12-year-old girl, but despite the controversial subject matter, hundreds of girls auditioned for the role. Before Lyon had even walked into the audition room, Kubrick had already had his eyes on her. The director had spotted her in her first ever credit on the Loretta Young Show. He believed that her mature features coupled with her obvious youth was exactly the right look. Lyon might have been young when she landed the role of Lolita, but she was still older than the novel version of the character. Kubrick hoped that by casting a teenager, he might be able to skirt the censors. But there was no denying one thing: Lyon was still a child. Thanks in large part to Lyon's unique appeal, Lolita was a box office success. Unfortunately, she didn't get to share in her castmates' celebrations. Because she was just 16 years old when the film premiered in New York in June 1962, she was too young to actually see the movie herself. But she could read the reviews. The American journalist and critic Bosley Crowther wrote a largely positive review of the film, but he focused most of his praise on Lyon herself, as did Variety in their review. With just her 3rd acting credit under her belt, Lyon found herself swept up in a strange kind of fame. Following the rave reviews and curious, if still inappropriate, interest in the teenager, Lyon landed yet another rare honour. For her outstanding performance as Lolita in her feature film debut, she won the Most Promising Female Newcomer award at the 1963 Golden Globes. Despite all of the success that it brought her, Lyon would have been happy to leave Lolita behind. However, even after it wrapped, the young actress found herself stuck in a 7-year contract with Kubrick, producer James B. Harris, and the production company. The early loss of her father left Lyon on a lifelong search for a strong male figure to fill the void. Tragically, she would never find it, but it wasn't for lack of trying. Over the course of her life, Lyon was married 5 times, each marriage seemingly even more disastrous than the last one. Her first set a dangerous precedent. Even before meeting him, Lyon's first husband had his sights set on her. Actor and filmmaker Hampton Fancher confessed that when Lolita had come out in theatres, he'd been living with another actress, but seeing Lyon in a promotional spread was enough to seal the deal. It's unclear how exactly Lyon met Fancher, but by 1963 the couple were engaged to be wed. At the time, Lyon was just 17 and Fancher was approaching 30. The age gap was undoubtedly significant, and there was a power imbalance in the relationship that manifested itself in horrible and embarrassing ways for Lyon. While working on the set of The Night of the Iguana, Lyon's next screen appearance after Lolita, Lyon's then fiancée caused a scene. The possessive Fancher kept interfering with the film's production, forcing the director, John Huston, to ban him from the set. Huston, as it turns out, wasn't the only one giving Fancher the boot. Fancher explained that Lyon's post-Lolita years had been challenging for her as she grappled with fame as an object of male desire. But from the sounds of it, he did little to nothing to improve her situation, and ended up spending more time with his bohemian friends than with her. Not that he was any fun to be around anyway. At just 18, after a little more than a year of marriage, Lyon filed for divorce. In the proceedings, she accused Fancher of being hostile, belligerent, antagonistic, rude, and unpleasant. Shortly after the divorce, Lyon entered an age-appropriate relationship for the first time. She began dating the Scottish singer-songwriter Donovan. Their puppy love affair didn't last very long, and little information about it leaked out to the media, but it probably ended because of a personal tragedy in Lyon's life. As the youngest of 5, Lyon was the baby of the family, but her siblings had struggles of their own. Authorities in Mexico found her older brother James's lifeless body after he overdosed. Before he died, he appeared to have scrawled, "Sue, I love you," in the dust on the dashboard of a stolen car. Even though she was still under contract to Kubrick, Lyon managed to sign a 2-picture deal with the Italian actor Marcello Mastroianni. Unfortunately, while driving with him, she was in a car accident that damaged her knee and prevented her from appearing in the films. But there was another, more controversial theory. After Lyon cancelled her 2-picture deal with Mastroianni, rumours began swirling that it had in fact been Kubrick who nixed the project. She was, after all, still under contract to him. After appearing in films like 7 Women, The Flim Flam Man and Tony Rome, however, she was finally free of Kubrick. But without his backing, she never appeared in another A-list major motion picture again. She also sabotaged her own career with what she did next. Lyon had been unlucky in love, and after divorcing Fancher and breaking things off with Donovan, her heart took a much-needed break. However, in 1971, she stunned the world when she tied the knot with photographer and football coach Roland Harrison. Less than a year into their marriage, she was already pregnant with their daughter. But it was a scandalous relationship for one reason. Since her youth, Lyon had bleached blonde hair and presented the image of the all-American girl. Harrison, on the other hand, was a black man. In the prejudicial early 1970s, Lyon's and Harrison's interracial marriage caused backward-thinking Hollywood producers to raise their eyebrows and overlook Lyon for roles. Then she fell on hard times. Unsurprisingly, Lyon's marriage to Harrison didn't last. By 1972, the couple had called it quits. But Lyon was still pregnant, and because of her condition and besmirched reputation, she couldn't find work in Hollywood. In a tragic twist to her story, Lyon found herself working as a waitress. Out of love, or more likely out of desperation, Lyon married once again in 1973. This time, she tied the knot to one Cotton Adamson. However, the couple's nuptials were anything but conventional. In fact, if her previous marriage had raised eyebrows, then this one had everyone raising the alarm. At the time of their marriage, Adamson was behind bars, serving a 40-year sentence for second-degree murder. Lyon still said "I do" in a prison ceremony. In a move that shouldn't have surprised anyone, Lyon divorced Adamson just 1 year after they wed. She left no mystery as to the reason for her decision. I've been told by people in the movie business, specifically producers and film distributors, that I can't get a job because I'm married to Cotton. Therefore, right now, we can't be married. Unfortunately, the damage was done. There was nothing she or anyone else could do to elevate her to the levels of fame she had following Lolita. By the end of the 1970s, her career had taken a total nosedive, and she appeared almost exclusively in Z-list sci-fi movies. Lyon had all but given up on love when, in 1983, she married Edward Weathers. However, true to form, the marriage lasted about as long as the runtime of one of her Z-list movies. By 1984, Lyon had divorced husband number 4. And she didn't waste much time getting on to number 5. Months after divorcing Weathers, Lyon moved on to her next romantic conquest. This time, however, she actually seemed to have found something resembling love. In 1985, she tied the knot to engineer Richard Rudman. The marriage lasted 17 years, a lifetime for Lyon. Nevertheless, it did end in divorce. In a 1996 interview, she explained why she was fundamentally incapable of finding the kind of love she needed to make a marriage last. "My destruction as a person dates from that movie. Lolita exposed me to temptations no girl of that age should undergo." She even dropped a hint about who to blame in that tell-all interview. Despite the potential exploitation she might have faced at the hands of the producers back in her early teens, Lyon blamed fame for her ultimate destruction. "I defy any pretty girl who is rocketed to stardom at 14 in a nymphet role to stay on a level path thereafter." Years later, Lyon's daughter revealed just how damaged her mother really was. Nona Harrison, Lyon's daughter with her second husband Roland and her only child, made a devastating revelation to the media after her mother's death. Sue Lyon had bipolar disorder, and her health only deteriorated from there. By 1980, Lyon had made her final screen performance in the low-budget independent horror film Alligator. After announcing her official retirement from acting, she largely disappeared from the public eye. She spent the rest of her life trying to pick up the pieces of her broken self that fame had smashed. But it was too late. On Boxing Day in 2019, at the ripe old age of 73, Sue Lyon breathed her final breath. Her friends and family declined to provide a specific cause for her death, but stated that she had been quite ill for some time. But this wasn't the end of Lyon's story. After her passing, scandalous allegations about the filming of Lolita bubbled to the surface. Enter Michelle Gilliam. Shortly after moving to California, Lyon had become friends with Michelle, herself a precocious young lady who was just 2 years older than Lyon. Gilliam would go on to fame as Michelle Phillips, a member of the pop music quartet the Mamas and the Papas. The two young and beautiful teenagers confided everything in each other. However, years later, Phillips made shocking revelations about some of Lyon's darkest secrets. In a 1962 interview on German television, Lyon stated that she had read Lolita with her mother after landing the role of the titular character. According to Phillips, though, that was a lie meant to whitewash the questionable truth. Phillips claimed that she had been the one who introduced Lyon to the mature subject matter of Lolita a year prior to her audition for the role. More shocking revelations had everyone questioning what really happened on the set of that film. Shortly after Lyon died, Phillips made another jaw-dropping confession. She claimed that her dearly departed friend had lost her virginity to none other than Lolita producer James B. Harris. The truly shocking part of the revelation was not so much that Lyon had slept with Harris, but rather when. In a 2020 interview with the journalist Sarah Weinman, Michelle Phillips stated that Lyon had become extremely close to Harris while filming Lolita in England, and had slept with him when she was just 14 years old. The revelation erupted into a full-blown media scandal after Harris's response to the allegations. Weinman contacted the 92-year-old Harris in 2020 for comment. However, Harris refused to respond to the allegations, declining to confirm or deny. Harris was nearly 18 years older than Lyon, and to make matters worse, he was also married. In a 1967 interview when she was still just 21, Lyon wisely summarised the trajectory of her own life. To be pretty and to stay pretty are two different things. You can't take anything for granted, and it's foolish to think you can. You have to think ahead of how to build health and happiness. You have to learn to avoid what is going to hurt you or someone else. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos.